Audrey always looked forward to dance practice. Not only did she get to meet up with her friends there, but she loved the rhythm of the music as she learned a new dance or perfected an old one. Today was no different, right up until the point that everything stopped. It didn't stop because it was time to go home. Everything just stopped. Audrey's dance instructor was in the middle of demonstrating a turn, with her arms up and her body supported by the toes of one foot. She hung there, impossibly still. Stunned, Audrey looked at her classmates to see if they could believe what they were seeing. Oddly, they were frozen too. The second hand of the clock on the wall was still, and outside the window, a pigeon was caught, motionless, above the window ledge, unable to land. Weirdest of all was the silence. There was no music, no shuffling, no breathing, no distant traffic, just nothing. "What is going on?" muttered Audrey. Somehow she could speak and move.
That would be me,"
said a frog on top of the piano. "A talking frog?" gasped Audrey, as if the day hadn't gone crazy enough already.
"Yes, I'm speaking," said the frog. "That is correct."
"Are you doing this?" Audrey asked, throwing her arms out to the frozen world around them.
"Yes," confirmed the frog again. "I did that, but with good reason."
Audrey took a step closer to the piano to see the frog more clearly. "What sort of reason?" Surprisingly, the frog fell to her knees and clasped her hands together.
"Oh, mighty human, my family and friends are in grave danger. We need your help to save us."
"Me?" laughed Audrey. "But I'm just a girl. I don't know how to save anyone from danger."
"But you're so big and strong,"
insisted the frog. "Not compared to my dance instructor or a policeman or a soldier. If you need saving from danger, you'd be better off getting an adult to help you," explained Audrey.
"I have no idea what you're talking about," pleaded the frog. "All you humans look the same to me. Look, I just need one of you to come and save us from the terrible water dragon. You're our only chance."
"Water dragon?" repeated Audrey, taking a step backwards. "What am I supposed to do against a water dragon? Anyway, if it's giving you trouble, can't you just freeze it like you did with everyone else around here?"
"No," sighed the little frog. "That won't work. There's a little bit of magic that I've brought from home to stop time, so I could talk to you. It won't work on magical creatures such as water dragons, and now I've used up all the magic asking you."
Audrey considered the sad little frog for a moment. "You really are in trouble, aren't you?" she said softly.
"Yes," the frog nodded gently. "Immensely so. The dragon has threatened to eat up every one of us, and we've no place to go to escape it."
"Okay, if I come with you, will you restart time again?" asked Audrey.
"It will start again, automatically, the moment you return,"
said the frog, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. "Very well, I'll do it," said Audrey bravely.
"Oh, thank you," said the frog. "Take my hand and then get ready to jump. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
They jumped into the air in the dance studio and landed beside a lake. Tall reeds and grasses lined the water's edge, while dropping willows and tall oaks crowded the banks. The sky was a pale blue above them, reflecting in the still waters. "It's almost as quiet here as where we've come from," said Audrey, having a good look around.
"That's because of the water dragon," said the frog quietly. "Birds dare not sing, bees are too frightened to buzz, and we frogs won't croak for fear of drawing the water dragon's attention. None of us want to end up his next meal."
"Oh, how awful," said Audrey.
"Come, we must hide in the reeds," insisted the frog. "The water dragon is always on the lookout for something to eat. I'll take you to my family and friends, and you can tell us how you're going to defeat it."
"Well, began Audrey, But a loud roar cut her off, echoing across the lake from the far side. Ducking low, she hastily followed the frog into the reeds. Once amongst them, the frog encouraged her to keep very still, lifting a finger to her lips as a sign to remain quiet. The water dragon was coming.
"What's going on over here?"
boomed an angry voice.
"Did I hear a tasty treat talking?"
Audrey was hunched low, as still as a statue, all apart from her eyes that were trying to catch a glimpse of this fearsome dragon.
I can smell something different," growled the voice. "Something new. Perhaps something tasty."
Audrey felt a coldness in her stomach as fear began to take a hold of her, but only for a moment, because she just caught sight of the water dragon. It was tiny. She'd been expecting a great big beast as big as a bus, but this dragon was barely the size of a cat. She watched, fascinated, as it flew back and forth, appearing and disappearing from view through the gaps in the reeds as it searched for them. But the reeds were too thick, and fortunately, her dance clothes were black, allowing her to blend into the shadows. With a disappointed sniff, the water dragon gave up, heading off to terrorize a new part of the lake. "Come on," said the frog, tugging at her elbow. "We should move." The frog led Audrey through the reeds to a large old tree. Slipping between the twisted roots, which Audrey was only just about small enough to manage, they arrived in a hollowed-out chamber. Fortunately, this was a good-sized space, and although Audrey couldn't stand up, there was plenty of room for her to sit and look around. And just as well, because the chamber was full of creatures. Frogs, toads, and newts, mice, voles, and shrews, beetles, dragonflies, and bees. Even birds had taken refuge here. Tiny lanterns hung from the chamber's roof, or sat beside the clustered creatures, giving just enough light for Audrey to see them all by.
"I have one, a mighty human," cried the frog happily.
"Oh, she truly is mighty," said a beetle. "She's enormous." "Oh, a giant," shouted a water vole. "Humans surely can't come bigger than that." "A true dragon slayer," cheered a robin. "Wait," said Audrey calmly. "I'm not what you think I am. I'm just a girl. I'm a long way away from being an adult. I'm not tall. I'm not strong. I'm just, well, me." Nobody spoke. They had put such hope in getting a human to help them that they couldn't believe that this one wasn't what they needed. The frog stood up and looked desperately to Audrey.
"Is there nothing you can do to help us?"
she asked. Audrey brushed some dirt and moss from her front. "Well, I may not be big and mighty," she said, "but I've seen you're a water dragon and it doesn't scare me. I have an idea, but in order for it to work, I'm going to need your help." "Anything," said the frog, finding her smile. "Anything at all." The water dragon spent much of his day circling the lake's margins in the hope of tracking down a weary butterfly or snatching up a fish that had strayed too far from its hiding place. As far as the water dragon was concerned, the lake belonged to him, as did everything in it, and it wanted nothing more than to remind everyone of this. Consequently, the lake was a quiet place because all its inhabitants lived in fear of being eaten. They spent their time hiding, only daring to emerge when they were sure that the water dragon was asleep. The water dragon rarely saw another creature, so it was with some surprise that he spotted a whole group of them together. They were sat together on a fallen tree trunk, and it looked as if they were having a picnic. The water dragon flew into a fury, pounding its wings to get to them as quickly as possible.
"What's this? What's this?" the water dragon roared. "Aren't you all scared that I'll swoop down and gobble you all up?"
"What was that?" asked the frog, enjoying a small sandwich. "Are you talking to us?"
"Of course I'm talking to you," bellowed the water dragon. "Have you all lost your minds? Don't you know who I am? Aren't you frightened of me?"
"Oh no," said the frog, licking his fingers.
"Not anymore."
"What do you mean, not anymore?"
screeched the dragon with disbelief. "We're protected by the great water spirit now," said the frog. "It's probably best you go on your way before you disturb her."
"Water spirit? What water spirit?" demanded the dragon. "This is my lake. There's no water spirit here."
"Who dare says that?" boomed a voice, visibly shocking the water dragon. "Oh dear, you've upset her now," said the frog, waggling a long finger at the water dragon. The water dragon watched wide-eyed as something terrible emerged from inside the hollow tree trunk. It was far bigger than the dragon and inky black, with hair of green waterweed. As it stood, wide wings unfurled from its back with a furious buzzing sound, while long arms, tipped with hideous pointed claws, reached outwards. "If there is one thing us water spirits like to eat," it growled, "it's water dragons." And one of the clawed hands went to snatch at the dragon through the air. The water dragon shrieked in horror, wings scrabbling to turn it around before beating hard to carry it as far away from the lake as it could possibly get. At long last, the terror of the water dragon was over.
"It's gone! The water dragon's gone!"
cheered the frog, hopping up and down on the tree trunk. Audrey began to pull off the gloves they had fashioned from grass and lengths of reed to look like claws, while the birds, bees, and dragonflies helped to lift off the wings that they had made from the same material. "The green weed is still a bit wet," Audrey complained as she picked lengths from her hair. "But it was worth it." The creatures of the lake helped her clean up, then insisted she stay and celebrate. For the first time in a long time, wildlife was emerging to enjoy their home, safe in the knowledge that the danger had passed. With the celebrations done, Audrey was keen to return home. "How do I get back again?" she asked the frog.
"Oh, that's easy,"
the frog replied.
"Just imagine where you were and jump."
"Okay," smiled Audrey. "I'll do that.
But before you go, thank you for helping us," said the frog. "You may not think you're a mighty human, but we all do."
"That's quite all right," smiled Audrey. "I liked helping you." And with that, she pictured the dance studio in her mind and jumped. Instantly, she was back, and no sooner had she arrived that the music started playing, her dance teacher completed her turn, and the pigeon touched down on the window ledge. It was as if nothing had happened at all. Then, at the end of the lesson, Audrey's dance teacher called her forward as the others prepared to go home. For a moment, Audrey wondered if she was in trouble. Had her dance teacher noticed that time had stopped? Instead, the teacher just reached out and plucked a length of waterweed from Audrey's hair.
"How on earth did that get there?" she asked.
Audrey just grinned a big grin and then went home. The end. So that you don't miss a single episode, just click that subscribe button.